So good morning to all. So good morning. So in the previous two lectures we have discussed about the physiology of the respiration system. Physiology of the respiration system. So the main parts of the lungs and how the oxygen is absorbed by the capillaries, pulmonary capillaries, and the gases are exchanged. Okay, so all these are how the different branches are present in the bronchi. Okay, so that we'll see in the last two classes. So for today's session, we'll start with we'll see the how the inhale and exhale process occurs. So what are the uh, different parts of the body or parts of the thorax cavities are involved for respiration process. So pulmonary ventilation. So here, so we will see how the respiration takes place. So that is called as pulmonary ventilation. So nothing but the breathing. So mechanism. So how the breathing will be takes place? That is movement of gases through the pressure gradient, high to low. So when the atmospheric pressure is greater than the lung pressure, so air flows in. So that is respiration. When the atmospheric pressure is greater than the lung pressure, the air flows in. So that is inspiration. And so when the atmospheric pressure is the lung pressure is greater than the atmospheric pressure, the air flows out. So inspiration and expiration. So whenever we are sleeping, we are not bothered about our respiration process. So depending upon the pressure gradients which are present in the atmosphere, so it will be takes automatically. So we don't have any particular system to breathe in the night or in general works also. So we are not considered full breathing of the system. So by the difference of the pressures in the in and out of the lungs, so there is a exchange of the gases will takes place. So inspiration and expiration will be takes place. Okay. To do this respiration action, so pulmonary ventilation or breathing action, so there are certain parts of the body, so will be supports. So for that, so thorax. So the first one is the thorax. So thorax is the part of the body cavity from the neck to head of the abdomen. So containing the heart, lungs, etc. Chest in mammals, the diaphragm separates it from the abdomen. So in addition to this thorax, okay, so there is a diaphragm is also there. This diaphragm and chest, these two will be causes the inspiration process. So the chest contains the heart and lungs, while the abdomen contains the digestive system, including stomach, small intestines. Mr. 401. Okay. So there are this thorax is also plays important role for the inspiration and expiration. So here, this is the this is the you have a rib cage here. So intra-aellar pressure is 760 mm of Hg. So and here the diaphragm is there. So increase size in thorax. So the thorax size is increases means a decrease in pressure. So in such situation, air moves in. So if you take the air inside, the thorax size will be increases. So that means the chest size will be increases. Similarly, decrease in decrease size in thorax. It means increase in pressure and air moves out. Okay. So the inhaling and exhaling pressures due to the increase and decreasing of the thorax will takes place. And also the by taking this increase and decrease of thorax, there is a diaphragm movement will be takes place. In the inhale process, the diaphragm will be moves upward direction. In the exhale process, the diaphragm will be moves upwards. Okay, see here. So when we have to take the breath in, the diaphragm will be moves downward direction. When the exhale process or expiration, the diaphragm will be relaxes and goes inside. Okay, and in such situation, the lungs will be relaxed. So there are some terminologies there. So hypoventilation. So it is the condition of insufficient ventilation by an individual to maintain his normal PCO2 level. So carbon dioxide pressure level. So this is hypoventilation. So insufficient ventilation by an individual to maintain his PCO2 level. Okay. And hyperventilation means it is abnormally prolonged, rapid or deep breathing. So by taking the deep breath, so over breathing, so that uh, variation, abnormal prolonged breathing is considered as a hypoventilation. So for some persons will difficult to breathe, so they will take long breath. So the deep breath. So that one called as hypoventilation. And dyspnea. So is the sensation of inadequate or distressful respiration, a condition of abnormal breathlessness. So this is also a breathlessness condition. Okay. Abnormal breathlessness condition. So sensation of inadequate respiration. So he does not have sufficient inspiration. I mean, oxygen is not sufficient. So in such situation, we will get the dyspnea and hypercapnia. Hypercapnia is an excess amount of CO2 in the system. So in the system, we have a higher amount of CO2. So then we can see it is a hypercapnia. Hypoxia. Hypoxia is a shortage of oxygen. Hypoxia is a condition of shortage of oxygen. So nowadays, due to corona, so many patients corona patients are dying due to lack of oxygen. Okay, hypoxia is a shortage of oxygen. So they don't breathe their own. So they require some external oxygen supply. Okay. So both hypercapnia and hypoxia can result from a inadequate ventilation. So shortage of oxygen and the excess amount of CO2, both will be dangerous. So then we have to require the ventilation. So artificial oxygen supply we have to provide. Uh, and so in the respiration system we have the respiration system. So we have some instruments and we have to learn for different lung capacities, lung volumes and lung capacities. So what are the volume or the volume of the lungs will be changes when the inspiration and expiration process. So those terminology is important to analyze the diseases which are happening for the lungs, and for testing we have to use different types of instruments, and those instruments uh, also we'll study in this coming session. So first of all, you see the lung volumes and capacities. So what are the different lung volumes and capacities of the lung capacity? How the lung capacities will be changes. So lung volume is nothing but the actual, so how much volume it is there when the inspiration and what is the expiration. So how the air breathing conditions are there. So how much air is located? I mean, so while expiration also some of the air will be present inside. So residual air. So like that we can have some terminology, and these lung volumes will be measured. It is in a static condition. So they are not measured with respect to time. So whereas lung capacities can be measured with respect to time. So for a given amount of time period, how much air is inspired. For a given amount of given period of time, how much air is inspired. So uh, that will be decided by the lung capacities. You will measure in the lung capacities. So the basic pulmonary tests are designed based on the determination of lung volumes and capacities. Okay, different lung volumes and capacities are shown in the below figure. So here, from this point, the normal breathing. So after this one, you will take a inspiration. After that, it is respiration. So this is the inspiration process. The inspiration process, and this is the expiration process. So while inspiration process, the volume will be increases, and while this respiration process, the volume will be decreases. The capacities, lung volumes will be changes. So that we will see how this is. So here, this is the on the y-axis. So it is a it is represents the lung volume. So lung volume. So there is no scales here. So here this is nothing but the entire total lung capacity. Total lung capacity, and this one is tidal volume. This is the expiratory reserve volume, and this is the inspiratory reserve volume. This is functional residual capacity, residual volume, vital capacity. So like this we have some terminologies. So tidal volume. So this one is nothing but the tidal volume. The tidal volume or normal depth of breathing. So normal depth of breathing is considered as a tidal volume. So and it is the volume of gas inspired or expired during each normal or quiet respiration cycle. So tidal volume is the normal. So without a deep breath. So generally in the calm and quiet situation or normal situation. So how we will breathe will take place. So that particular volume will be considered as tidal volume or normal depth of breathing. So that is so this is the tidal volume. So with the normal breathing process, it is quite what is this particular level of this particular one is called as tidal volume. So the next one is the inspiratory reserve volume. Inspiratory reserve volume. The inspiratory reserve volume is the extra volume of gas that a person can inspire with the maximum effort after reaching the normal end inspiration level. Okay. So this is the, so if you put more effort to inspire, so to take much more air in, so for that the total inspiratory reserve volume. So this is the inspiratory reserve volume. So that is, this is the this one is the tidal volume. You can say it is maximum inspiration level. This is here. This is the tidal volume. So maximum value is the this one is the, so maximum inspiration value. This is the maximum inspiration volume. When we are in quiet and normal respiration process, and this one is the expiratory reserve volume. So this is the normal expiratory level. So inspiration, maximum inspiration, and this is the minimum or maximum expiration. Okay. So this is the inspiratory reserve volume. So if you take a long breath, if you put by effortlessly, we will take the long breath, extra volume of the gas will be inspired. Okay, and that is nothing but the inspiratory reserve volume. The inspiratory reserve volume. So after the normal inspiration position. Hello. So here, so inspiratory reserve volume and expiratory reserve volume. So whereas expiratory reserve volume is the extra volume of gas that can be expired with the maximum effort beyond the end respiration level. So the end expiratory level is the level reached at the end of normal. So quite expiration. So, so in this figure, so this is the expiratory reserve volume. So after relaxed expiration beyond that, so how much it is expired. So that will shows the expiratory reserve volume. So similarly, we have residual volume. So the residual volume is the volume of gas remaining in the lungs at the end of maximum expiration. So maximum expiration is over. So after that also, how much gas is present? How much volume of gas is remaining present in the lungs? Remaining present in the lungs will be considered as residual volume. So this one. So this is residual volume. So after expiration also, total expiration also, how much total air pressure, air gas volume of gas is present in the lungs is considered as residual volume. And the next one is vital capacity. So the vital capacity is the maximum volume of gas that can be expelled from the lungs by the forceful effort after a maximum inspiration. The vital capacity is the maximum volume of gas that can be expelled from the lungs. Expelled from the lungs by the forceful effort. So after maximum inspiration. So after maximum inspiration, so we have to expel the gas outside from the lungs. Okay. So forcefully we have to expelled. Okay. So that one maximum volume. How much volume of gas were expelled after inspiration? Okay. Maximum inspiration. So it is the difference between the level of maximum inspiration and the residual volume. And it is measured with respect to time. So the vital capacity is also the sum of the tidal volume, inspiratory reserve volume, and expiratory reserve volume. Okay. So it is the sum of the tidal volume, inspiratory reserve volume, and expiratory reserve volume. So that gives the vital capacity. So the next one is total lung capacity. Total lung capacity. So the total lung capacity is the amount of gas contained in the lungs at the end of maximum inspiration. Total lung capacity. So after you will inspire after the inspiration process, maximal after end of the maximal inspiration, what is the amount of gas is contained is nothing but the lung capacity, total lung capacity. So it is the sum of the total vital capacity and residual volume. So total lung capacity is also sum of the tidal volume, inspiratory reserve volume, and expiratory reserve volume and residual volume. So it is a total lung capacity, entire lung capacity. So it is summation of tidal volume, inspiratory reserve volume, expiratory reserve volume, and residual volume. So this is entire total lung capacity. Okay, and this is the vital capacity. And the next one is the inspiratory capacity. Inspiratory capacity. So the inspiratory capacity is the maximum amount of gas that can be inspired after reaching the end of expiratory level. Inspiratory capacities. So after inspired, after reaching the end of expiratory level. So after reaching the end of expiratory level, so how much amount of gas we are inspired? So it is a summation of the tidal volume and inspiratory reserve volume. And the functional residual capacity FRC. It is the volume of the gas remaining. It is the volume of the gas remaining in the lungs at the end of expiratory level. It is the sum of the residual volume and expiratory reserve volume. It is also calculated as the total lung capacity minus inspiratory capacity, and it is referred as baseline from which other volume and capacities are determined. Okay. So it is the functional residual volume is volume of gas remaining in the lungs at the end of expiratory level. After expiratory level is reached also, how much gas is presented, that is functional residual capacity. And it is sum of the residual volume and expiratory reserve volume. So coming to dynamic measurements. So previously we have seen that those are considered as a constant type of thing. So those does not require to measure with respect to time. Whereas these are uh, dynamic measurements. So whereas these should be measured with respect to some time, seconds or minutes. Like that. So respiratory minute volume. This is respiratory minute volume. So it is the measure of the overall output of the respiratory system. This is a measure of overall output of the respiratory system. So this is measure of the amount of air inspired during 1 minute at rest. So it is a measure of the amount of air which is inspired during 1 minute of at rest. So while in the rest position, relaxed position, how much of air will be inspired during 1 minute? That gives the respiratory minute volume RMV. So it is obtained by multiplying the tidal volume by the number of respiratory cycles per second. It is also obtained as multiplying the tidal volume. So tidal volume TV by the number of respiratory cycles per minute. Respiratory cycles per minute. Per minute, how many respiratory cycles are there? So by that we'll get the respiratory minute volume. And second one is forced vital capacity. Forced vital capacity. Forced vital capacity is the total amount of air that can be forcefully expired as quickly as possible after taking the deepest possible breath. The previous one is inspiration. So with the rest position, how much air amount of air will be inspired? So this is forced vital capacity, but the amount of air that can be forcefully expired quickly. So the amount of air which can be expired as quickly by taking deepest possible breath. So if you take a deep breath, so then so After that, how much air will be expired? That should be quickly, not slowly. Some after in breathing, so we can slowly release. No, it is quickly released. Okay. If the measurement is made with respect to time, it is called as timed vital capacity measurement. So So network is not good. Okay. Due to that, it is happening like this. With this, I will stop today's session. We'll see you in the next class.